Hello and welcome to another brand new episode of Team Talk. Today I have with me the Executive Director of GEMS Business School, Bangalore, Mr. Kunal Nehruji. Warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
How
Thanks
have
for
you
having
been?
me here.
You're welcome. So tell us about the story, how GEMS Business School started. I believe it started back in 2006.
That's right, yes. We started back in 2006. GEMS B School is a very unique concept. We're not among the conventional schools. Yeah. So we here believe that management is a skill that has to be learnt partly in a classroom and partly in an organization. We don't believe in the concept that students can sit in a classroom alone and learn management, right? So when we started GEMS back in 2006, we said we should do something unique, something unconventional, and we conceived a concept called the Industry Synergized MBA, which is basically a work-study MBA. So that's what GEMS is known for today. You know, we are the pioneers of work-study programs in the country.
Yeah. Right. So how did it get conceptualized? Who planted that seed in you that you should start a business school of this kind? You know, where the gap between the industry requirements and freshers coming out of colleges is actually met.
Well, before we started GEMS B School, we were a training organization. We used to be called eCube Learning and Development, and we used to specialize in a program called Campus to Corporate programs. So what we actually used to do here is we used to do a lot of training for a lot of multinational companies, and we used to train their freshers, so students who used to just come out of graduation, like engineering colleges. So we used to train them for about 2 weeks so that they smoothly transit from campus to corporate. Yeah. So we used to work with a lot of freshers, and we used to work with a lot of companies. So that's when we understood that companies expected something from freshers when they actually onboarded them into their organizations, and what they actually got from them was, you know, I mean, there was a huge gap, right? So that's when we thought that, okay, it is very important to make students industry ready before they get into an organization.
True.
You know, so I would say that that idea came from there. Yeah.
So was it a teamwork, team effort, a lot of brainstorming that happened?
Absolutely, absolutely. Our chairman, Dr. Nehruji, it was his dream always to start a business school and add value to youngsters in the area of management education. So thanks to him, we started GEMS B School, and we had a lot of industry professionals. Even today, all our faculties are strictly from the industry. You know, we don't hire anybody who has less than 15 years of industry experience to teach our students. So we had a lot of guys from the industry who were with us. We said that we should not create again a run-of-the-mill kind of an MBA program. So that's when we sat down, we brainstormed, and we said that, okay, these are the problems the industry faces today. Employability is a major issue with MBA graduates presently in the country. You know, this might not be a very new figure that I'm sharing with you, but about 56% of MBAs who come into the market, okay, are unemployable. They have an MBA degree with them. They have a UGC recognized, NAC accredited, and all of that, you know, kind of an MBA degree, but they're incapable of getting a job. They're incapable of attending an interview and cracking an interview and getting that job, you know. So that is primarily because MBA programs are not experiential.
Right.
You know, so keeping all these things in mind, we designed the Industry Synergized program, where we impart management education to them 70% practically and 30% theoretically.
So that's how
it works. Yes.
your program runs.
Yeah.
And no matter what stream they choose, all MBAs, they work on that format, 70%.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, we offer a lot of specializations. We offer many vanilla specializations like your marketing, finance, HR, these kind of specializations, logistics and supply chain, IT. We also offer unique programs like an MBA in event management,
Right.
where all our students work with event management companies and study. We offer a program in travel, tourism and hospitality. So GEMS B School also has its own resort and events venue, which is located next to the Bangalore International Airport. And what we do there is our students at the graduation level and the post-graduation level. So we have a BHM, a Bachelor's in Hotel Management, and also an MBA in Travel, Tourism and Hospitality. All our students work and study in that property. So they learn the various functions of a hotel practically, experientially, and attend classes as well. So we offer a lot of unique programs, and we also have a program that we run, which is, we call it the British MBA. This is a program we run in association with a university called University of Sunderland, which has campuses in Sunderland in London, in UK, and also another campus in London. So students study 1 year here in Bangalore, and second year, that's the next 6 months, in University of Sunderland in their London campus, to get an MBA from them. Yeah. So these are some of the programs we offer, and at the graduation level, like I said, we offer a Bachelor's in Hotel Management, we offer a BBA plus MBA, which is a 5-year program, we offer a BBA plus MBA, which is a 3-year program for working undergraduates.
Right.
That's a very popular program and one of its kind in the country. And we also offer a BCom plus MBA in finance. So yeah, a lot of programs.
All right, sounds very interesting. Well, talking about collaborating with institutions which are not in India, how has the response been? Do you have exchange programs as well?
Well, you see, somewhere about 2 to 3 years back, we said, okay, now we should take this to the next level. Right? And now our industry synergized MBA program is a great hit, and there are a lot of students. We enroll about 500 plus students every year, and we have exponentially grown year on year. So we said, okay, now let's take this to the next level. Let's look at collaborating with some international university and offer a program where students are also able to get some international exposure through our industry synergized MBA, through the whole work study concept, because all these days it's just been in India, in Bangalore, where they've been working. So we started talking to many universities in UK and in the US and all that, and I must say the response has been great. These universities found our concept very, very appealing. Universities in the US and in the UK, most of them insist on a few years of work experience before you could do an MBA. So they were able to immediately relate to the concept that we are talking about, which is the work study concept. So the response has been great, and in fact we had offers to associate and run this program with at least about 5-6 universities, but we chose University of Sunderland, keeping a lot of factors in mind. It's a 1-2-year-old university, and reputed university located in London. Because ours is a work study program, we thought it was apt for our students to study in London, which is the business capital. So yeah, the response has been great. No
And
doubt.
do you also offer scholarships and assistance with visa, things like that? Because that would probably be on the top of the list for the students and parents.
Definitely. I mean, scholarships of course are there. The university offers scholarships for students who have performed extremely well and all of that. And we take care of everything for the students end to end, right from their visa to their accommodation in London to everything. I mean, it's all a part of the package, because expecting Indian parents generally are very sensitive, when their children go abroad and study and all that, they get really worried. Right? So we do everything for them, and all they have to do is pack their bags and jump into that flight. That's all.
Well, talking about Indian parents, has the ice been broken in the sense the mainstreams like engineering, medicine and MBAs, only that was the focus for the past few years. Has that, let's say the myth associated with those courses, has it actually weaned off?
Well, especially engineering, I think people now clearly know that, why does somebody do a course? It's to have a successful career, right? And to have a successful career, you need to start with a job. And it's very important to do courses that are able to get you a job. Unfortunately, unlike early 2000s or even the mid 2000s, where there used to be a lot of jobs for engineers, that isn't the case today. So that's one of the reasons also why, because a good 50% of my students who study in GEMS B School, who enroll for the Industry Synergized MBA, are engineering students. They make up their mind that, okay, now I need to flourish in the management area, and they come and take up an MBA with us, choose an MBA in maybe HR or marketing or something, and do a shift in their domain and start working.
Right.
Yeah, so that definitely the ice has been broken, especially specializations like event management. There used to be a day when, which is not far away, about 3 years back, when we used to enroll just about 10 students for event management. But today I have something like 60 students who do an MBA in event management. A lot of girls. And mind you, event management is an area which is not a Monday to Friday kind of a job.
Right.
It's not a 9 to 6 kind of a job.
True.
You might return at 1 in the morning sometimes, right? That's how it is. But a lot of girls are taking that up, so it's good to see. So yeah, a lot of new things are opening up.
Right.
And yes.
Okay, wonderful. So how do you categorize your institution as? Do you think that your institution is technology dependent, or you think you're following a pattern where it is technology centric? Because your students have to perform on a global platform.
True.
Yeah. So what is the curriculum based on?
Well, you see, we have tie-ups with various reputed universities in India, and the curriculum comes from them. Yeah. But apart from that, right? We do a lot of extra things for our students. We have a lot of guest lectures. Every Sunday morning between 9 and 11, we have guest lectures for our students, where we have professionals from the industry who come and talk to them about something that is trending in the industry, but it's not there in their textbooks. Something new that is emerging, and things like that. So we do spend a lot of time in passing on this kind of knowledge to them, where they are updated with what's happening and things like that. And with respect to technology, I think there are certain basic things that you cannot escape today.
Of course.
And you just need it. You need to be extremely computer savvy. You need to be good with your various tools that you use day to day in the industry, and you just don't have a chance if you don't know these skills, right? So of course, yes, yeah.
Right, okay. All right. So moving on, Kunal, we were wondering, what are the pre-screening methods you have before you take in students for your, into batches? I'm sure there is some method of, filtering, because it's a very intense program. MBA that you have, 70% of the hours they spend
practically
on the job, right?
Yeah.
So tell us, break it up for us.
See, we have an entrance test, okay? We call it the GEMS admission test, all right? So a student has to clear this test, all right? And then he goes through a personal interview, and it's only after that does he get selected to join GEMS B School. Right? So we do have a filtration process in place, number one. Number two, this, since our program is such a different program, it's a work-study program and things like that, we look for slightly different skill sets in students. Marks is not the only criteria. I need students whose communication skills are reasonably good. I need students whose confidence levels are reasonably good. I need students who are good with their aptitude. I need students who are good with their skills like Excel and computers, internet, and so on and so forth. So our GEMS admission test is designed keeping all these things in mind, okay? And we do have a filtration process like that. Now let me tell you a little about the whole concept of how the program works, this Industry Synergized MBA program that we pioneered.
Right.
Yep. So what happens is, when a fresh graduate who has just completed his graduation, a BCom, engineering, whatever, when he joins us, the first thing we do is we find him a job placement with a company.
That's the first thing you do?
The very first thing. Okay, in less than about 20 days to 30 days after he joins GEMS B School, he starts working with an organization, all right? Monday to Friday he works there. Saturdays and Sundays he attends classes in the college.
Okay.
At the end of 2 years, he gets an MBA with 2 years of work experience. Now, the job we find him during these 2 years is related to the course he is pursuing with us. So, let's say a student chooses an MBA in HR. We find him a job related to HR. So, he learns something about HR practically in a company for 5 days and in the classroom for 2 days. So, how this concept works is what the student learns in his classroom on Saturdays and Sundays, he gets to apply it on his job. Okay, and because he's doing a course related to the job that he's doing, he's able to grasp and understand things quickly. He's able to relate to what the faculty is speaking in the classroom.
Yes,
you know, that's a very important thing. Now, this concept, this methodology of teaching management concepts, you know, drives better understanding of management concepts. You know, he's able to learn and relate to things easily. You know, unlike a student who's sitting in a classroom and he has no clue about the application of these management concepts, and the faculty has to try and help the student relate to the application of these management concepts through case studies and role plays and things like that. Here are my students who are working with organizations. They're able to understand things very easily. And I think that is how an MBA program must be delivered, and this is working really well for us because our students are extremely successful. So these students also get paid a salary for this job, a full-time salary, and they are in a full-time job with the company. They are not interns or management trainees or anything like that. So when they complete these 2 years and when they get out of their institution and they're out there in the industry, in the market, they're an MBA with 2 years of experience, and they clearly have an edge over all those other MBAs that are coming into the market with 0 years of experience. Any organization would prefer this guy because he can start kicking for the company from day one. He can start being productive, he can start delivering the goods from day one. You know, and that is what companies want today. They don't really have the time and money to, you know, take a fresher and train him and, you know, things like that. So that's what we've found. So this is how our concept works. This is how we believe management education must be taught.
Wonderful. It actually sounds, it's unbelievable because they come
Let me also mention something else. All our faculties, like I mentioned a little earlier to you, they're all from the industry. Okay, and these are people with minimum 15 to 20 years of experience who are subject matter experts in their respective areas. They are the ones who come and teach our students. So we very, very clear that all our faculties have industry experience. We don't hire people who come only with academic experience. So what happens is we have students working in the industry. We have, so to give you an idea of how a classroom in GEMS B School looks like, we have about 40 students from different walks of life, you know, guys, some of them in finance, some of them in HR, some of them in retail, event management, logistics, supply chain. We have faculty with 15-20 years of experience. So you can imagine the kind of discussions that happen, the kind of interactions and the kind of level. So that really drives good understanding. That really boosts the confidence of these students, you know, and they do extremely well, is what we've seen. Yes.
You did mention that they spend so many hours at a particular organization at work, and I was wondering, do the people who are training them, do they have a hand in probably giving an analysis of where they would fit?
That's a very
Isn't that
good question.
important?
Yeah. Actually, I missed that point. I should have mentioned this earlier. Now, once a student gets selected and joins GEMS B School, right, we put him through a psychometric test in the beginning. Now, this is a psychometric test. It's quite an exhaustive test, okay. Now, this test helps the student understand what kind of a specialization he is cut out for based on his personality, based on his strengths, his weaknesses and his interest levels, right? So Once he completes this test, he sits down with our dean, and our dean, Dr. Nehruji, sits with every single student who joins GEMS B School, and he gives them a feedback about, this is the area you are cut out for based on all these factors. This could be plan A for you, this could be plan B, all right? And so students have a bit of idea on what they should choose and what they should take up as their specialization. And the accuracy of this test is about 88%, and 88% of our students have come back to us and told us that this is bang on, this is how it should be, Right. So we do that to help them with choosing their stream, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Really sounds unbelievable. All right, Kunal, I'm sure the parents and students who are watching want to know the accreditations that the institution has.
See, we offer all our courses through very reputed universities, and these are all universities which are UGC recognized, and they are NAC accredited. So all the recognitions and accreditations that are required in India, well, India has a very simple system. Right? They have UGC, which is the sole recognizing body for education, and they have NAC, which is the accrediting body. So all these universities that we work with, the Indian universities we work with, are accredited by NAC and recognized by UGC. Most of our courses we offer through this university called Bharatiyar University, which is based out of Coimbatore, and this university presently is ranked #1 in South India and number 14 in India as per some new survey that has come out. So yes, these are reputed universities. Bharatiyar University is also a government university. Apart from that, we are associated with University of Mysore. We work with University of Sunderland, like I said, and Sunderland is again a very reputed university. They have all the required recognitions and accreditations. Yeah, that's something that we don't really compromise on,
Right.
Yeah.
You also have institutions outside Bangalore.
Yes.
You have other campuses.
That's right. So we have a campus in Tirupati, we have a campus in Pondicherry, we have a campus in Mysore, and the model there works a little differently. So the idea of establishing institutions in these Tier 2 locations is to cater to students who come from districts around these places. For instance, we talk about Mysore. This is to cater to students coming from areas like Coorg, areas like Gonikopal, and there are so many areas there, Mandya and things like that. And since these are students who need to improve upon their communication skills a little bit, because they come from Tier 2 and Tier 3 locations, and they've not had the privilege of the kind of standards that are practiced in Bangalore city, which is of course changing now. Yes. I must say that. Yeah. So we train these students in Mysore for 1 year. They do a conventional, regular Monday to Friday kind of a program. Apart from teaching them the curriculum, the syllabus and all of those things, we give a lot of emphasis on their communication skills, confidence levels and all these things. And in the next year, they are moved to the Bangalore campus, where they are immediately placed, they work and study. So at the end of 2 years, they get an MBA with 1 year of experience. Okay. While students here get an MBA with 2 years of experience, right? So this is again a brilliant program, I must say, because we attract a lot of students from small places, and we have an opportunity to really transform them. Okay, and when we bring them to Bangalore, find them a job, and they settle down really well, it's a great feeling.
Okay, you do take care to handhold them through a few processes until they're settled down.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, talking about parents, I'm sure when you're counseling students during the admission process, not just the students, the parents come with a lot of, let's say notions,
True.
like some misconceptions.
Yeah.
So, what are some of those really?
Well, see, the biggest misconception that I see is students and parents think that MBA is some kind of a short formula for success. You just enroll in an MBA program and there you are, you're going to get a great job with an air-conditioned cabinet, with a multinational company, and your package is going to be huge, and it doesn't really work like that. That's not how it is, right? So what decides your success, what decides how well you actually perform out there in the industry and earn a great package or a position or a role, completely depends on how you groom yourself. An MBA is a platform for you to hone your skills. An MBA is a platform for you to polish yourself, improve your skills. An MBA is a platform for you to improve your competency, which eventually leads to you getting a good job with a good company and getting a good placement, a good salary, and so on. So the biggest misconception is this: they feel that, okay, I just get an admission into an MBA college and that's about it, right? I'm going to be given a good job, a good company. That's the biggest misconception. Because even here in GEMS B School, out of, let's say, 100 students who join us, not all of them get into multinational companies. We get all kinds of students, right? We have students who have done extremely well in their graduation. They have great scores, but they lack with their communication skills. They have a long way to go with, a lot of other things.
Right.
So an MBA is a platform to learn.
It just gives a direction, probably, right?
So that's the biggest misconception. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Kunal, this generation, the millennials, like they call them, they have access to some of the best things in life, and I think a lot of weightage is given even by the parents to infrastructure of an institution before they choose.
Yeah.
Do you really think it should matter?
Well, infrastructure is important, right? If you're sitting in a state of the art classroom and studying and all of those things, it gives you a great feeling, and maybe it also helps you concentrate more or whatever. Okay, I'll give them that. But that shouldn't be the only eligibility criteria for an institution, right? Students who just look at the building and join a college, I think that's not the right way to do it. You need to look at the faculty of an institution.
Of course.
That's the most important thing.
Yes.
The kind of network that your institution has with organizations, with companies, because eventually that's what decides your placements, right? A student must research on that. A student must speak with the alumni of a college. He should find out about where the students who've passed out are, and how well they're doing for themselves, and things like that. These should be some of the factors, like the curriculum, the methodology, the pedagogy, and all these things. These are, I feel, the most important things. Infrastructure comes last, actually, if you ask me.
Right. Okay. Kunal, you've been, GEMS B School has been a part of Times Educational Fest, and this year as well it is taking part. Tell us about your previous experiences with the festival and what you're expecting now.
Well, Times of India does do a good job with their expos, and I have been participating in this particular Times Expo right from the very first year, and I've been one of their platinum sponsors, one of their main sponsors. Times of India is the newspaper in Bangalore city because they have the maximum circulation, right? So a lot of people read about this expo, and they come and visit these kiosks of colleges, and it helps them. It's a good thing. And Times Expo today, in the present day, is the only expo that I participate in. I'm not trying to say that it's like the greatest expo or something like that. It's because personally, for GEMS B School, I feel that I'm able to hit it off well with the Times audiences, because I get good response from the Times audiences. There are a lot of students who are from the Times audiences who come and join GEMS B School. So that's one of the reasons why I participate, and they do a pretty good job. It's very well organized, and one more important thing about the Times Expo is that most of these publications or channels because you also have a lot of channels doing expos these days, that seems to be the trend. And somehow, if I'm not wrong, the objective seems to be to attract maximum number of people, maximum footfalls,
Yes.
in the event. In fact, you have people arranging transport for students from different parts of Bangalore to come and attend the expo and things like that. What I like about the Times Expo is that their objective is not footfalls. They're talking about quality crowd. They're talking about very limited people who can come to you in your stall, stand, talk to you, understand your programs. So we are also able to spend a lot of time with them.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just about distributing pamphlets and they take and move.
Correct.
That's not how a fair should be. So that's one of the reasons why I participate in this expo every year. Yeah.
And since you've been associated with them from a couple of years before this year,
Yes.
What are the changes that you've noticed mentality-wise in terms of parents and students? And what are you expecting this year from them?
Well, the thing is, I would say the whole process of researching about colleges, has changed. There used to be a day when we used to release an ad, let's say in the Times of India newspaper, we used to get a lot of calls. That doesn't seem to be the trend now. You have students who read your advertisement, they go on your website, go on Google, do a lot of research, and only if they're really interested, if they find it interesting, they come to you. So that has changed. That is something that has changed. So the whole way in which they research about an institution and take a decision about taking admission has changed substantially. Yeah.
Right. Does it somehow indicate that there's a lot of competition?
Yeah, there's no
out
doubt.
there?
Of course,
Yeah.
yes, of course.
And knowledge being at the fingertips for students and
Yes.
parents. It's all there. It's social media and Google.
Yeah,
You see that as an advantage?
I definitely see it as an advantage. Yeah, because see, while I was just talking about Times of India and how good a newspaper they are and things like that, I would also like to tell you that generally the way people have started consuming content over the past few years has changed, and a lot of people have started consuming content, on the internet these days,
true.
and there used to be a day when if somebody wanted to know which are the best colleges in Bangalore city, they used to wait for the Education Times to be printed and given to them on a Monday. But today they don't have to wait for that Monday. All they have to do is just go on the internet and look for colleges, and there are a dozen educational portals or websites out there which will give you the information, right from the concept to the fees to everything that you need to know. Yeah. So the advantage of social media and Google and generally the internet itself and all of that is quick information. They're able to get information quickly, and they're able to research and decide on a particular institution or any product for that matter by reading reviews, by understanding how many people have used this product and what do they have to say about it. That's a very good thing, and I think that's how it should be. Right?
Right, but on the flip side, it seems like there's only, the students are getting half-baked knowledge, let's say.
Well, I'm not saying that. See, let me give you an example here. Yeah. While I would completely advocate the fact that what a student does today to understand about a college or a course is the right thing, he gets to know about the institution, then he goes out there and researches about the institution on the internet and gets a lot of information and all those things, reads a lot of reviews. But that should not be the only thing on the basis of which you take an admission in a college, right? Because unfortunately what happens with education is that reviews are not verified. Now you talk about the hotel industry, because we also run a resort, right? So we work with a lot of these online travel agents like Make My Trip and GoIbibo and Booking.com and these kind of people, right? Now they have a foolproof system for reviews, okay? Until unless you have booked through that website and experienced the property, you're not allowed to write a review. Not anybody can just go on a Booking.com and write a review about my property. But that isn't the case about education till now, because anybody can go and write anything about any institution. you know. So students should not really get carried away by these reviews. This is only going to give them some information and idea. This is just a tool to help them with their decision making, but eventually when they take their decision, it should be after they visit the institution, after they interact with their students, after they interact with their faculties, you know, research about the track record of the institution. That is the right way.
Yeah.
You know, but your research on the internet gives you some little basic information that you need to know, but you should not really buy everything that you read there. You know?
Yeah, take it with a pinch of salt.
Absolutely, absolutely. It gives you some background information, it gives you some kind of a foundation, some kind of a platform to understand, okay, what this institution is all about, you know, and yeah, that's how I think it should.
Okay, don't you miss the traditional methods of board and chalk piece teaching?
Well, it's very painful. You should talk to my faculties about it. And if they have to produce everything that is on their PowerPoint presentation.
There's nothing like a human touch. There's nothing like that interaction between a teacher and student.
Well, I would say interaction is still there. You know, I mean, our faculties use a lot of PowerPoint presentations, of course, yes, yeah. But they do interact a lot with students, and I would say it saves a lot of time. Right? Imagine a faculty had to come and write all the content on his PowerPoint presentation on the board. Number one, he loses a lot of time, okay, and that cuts down the time for discussions. But I'm with you on what you say. It should not be only PowerPoint presentations. You know, a faculty should be able to just like that come and talk to students, you know, without a PowerPoint. They should not be completely dependent on that PowerPoint presentations. Unfortunately, there are some faculties who can't really start their class if there's no PowerPoint presentation. Let's say your projector, after all, it's you know, an electronic item, it conks off for whatever reason. You know, this guy is flat, he can't really start his class. That's bad. You know, that should not happen.
Technology dependence.
Yeah.
Very well. So you've been associated with this institution for so long. I'm sure you have some very fond memories. Probably some visitors who were here at this institution.
Yes, lot of memories. See, like I mentioned earlier, we started a very unconventional program, you know, and something that was just an experiment, something that nobody had done before, you know, which was this kind of a work-study concept in India. So we received a lot of discouragement earlier, you know, people said that this is not going to work and, you know, all those things. In fact, we knocked on the doors of a lot of Indian universities saying that this is a very unique concept, and we would like you guys to give our students a regular full-time degree that is given to students who are studying Monday to Friday in a college, and they said, no way, we can only give your students a distance education degree. So because of that, 5 years of GEMS B School, we worked with an international university. It was in the 6th year that an Indian university, Bharatiya University, came forward and said that, okay, we see you guys are doing a great job, and as a special case, they approved it and allowed us to offer their courses, you know. So it was, yeah, quite a struggle to convince people about this program. But all said, it didn't take too long. You know, in about 3-4 years, we could show people a track record that we're able to place students, we're able to get them good jobs, and they're doing extremely well. They're able to finish their MBA with good grades. You know, once people started seeing that, you know, we encourage prospective admissions to discuss and interact with our students. We don't stop them. We don't say that, look, we can't give you numbers of our students, we will not allow you to talk to them. We ask them to interact with them, right? So it didn't take much time, and people found that, you know, this is a good concept, and from there, there's been no looking back, you know. So the whole process of setting up and establishing this itself, you know, is a great journey to remember, number one. And talking about the kind of people here, yeah, we had Dr. Kalam, who was the chief guest for our first convocation. We've had very renowned people like Mr. T.N. Seshan, Dr. E. Sridharan, who's the Metro man. T.N. Seshan is, was the election commissioner, and we had Subramanian Swamy. We had the latest convocation of ours, which was held last year, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, who's the Minister for Commerce and Industry, who's in Narendra Modi's cabinet. She was our chief guest. So yeah, we've had a lot of very renowned personalities visit us. Yes.
And the idea to have an institution was put across to you by the Wadiyars.
Yes, His Highness Sri Srikantadatta Narasimharaja Wadiyar, he was our chief patron. We have a lot of gratitude for him, and he is the one who invited us to come here and start GEMS B School in this campus. Yes, His Highness Mr. Wadiyar had a great inclination for education,
Yes.
and the royal family of Mysore is the one who established the University of Mysore, which is one of the oldest universities in the country. So he always had a passion, a flair, and some kind of an inclination for education. Yeah. So that's how we met him, and he gave us an opportunity to start GEMS B School here. Yes.
Wonderful. So on that note, is there anything you want to convey to the students and the parents who are going to visit the Educational Fest by Times of India?
Well, yes. What I would like to tell students is that focus on adding as many skills as you can, okay? Because in the present day, that is what is going to matter, all right? And just acquiring a qualification and acquiring a set of skills like a graduation, like a BCom or an MBA, it doesn't stop there. You need to keep on adding value to you. If you're looking at a career out there in the corporate environment, yeah, you need to keep on adding value to yourself, because technology is changing so fast, right? Jobs which are in vogue today, might not be in vogue 10 years down the line, right? So it's very important for you to keep on adding value, keep on adding skills to yourself. Yeah, don't think that getting a graduation or a post-graduation is the end. It's not like that. I'm not asking you guys to study more and do more courses and things like that. But what I'm trying to tell you is, add skills to yourself, learn new things. It might be experientially, it might be something new at your workplace, but you need to keep on upgrading yourself. There need to be newer versions of you coming out from time to time. That's very important. Yeah.
Wonderful.
What I would like to tell students who are visiting or planning to visit the Times Expo is that give yourself a whole day's time. Yeah, visit all the stalls that are relevant to you, which are offering the courses that you are looking at. Ask them questions, try to understand their USPs. All right. I see a lot of students just coming to these expos as some kind of a day outing, and it's a mere brochure and flyer collection activity that happens. Don't waste your time like that. You have a lot of reputed institutions coming there and displaying what they have in store for you. Talk to them, understand what they've got, and I'm sure you can find your college there. Yeah.
They're basically deciding their future, so they got to be serious about it.
They've got to be serious, yes. And education is a very important decision. Education is not like buying a product, right? Education, you're not only investing money, you're investing 2 years, 3 years, 5 years of your time, and you can't afford to make the wrong choice. And today, there is so much of information available to you. There are so many people out there ready to counsel you and direct you in the right direction, like that psychometric test that I was talking about. See, another important thing that I forgot to mention is, as a social responsibility, in the interest of students, to benefit students who have just completed their +2, we have an initiative. We have this website called careercompass.co.in. Okay. Now, this is a test that a student can take up just for 200 rupees. The reason we charge 200 rupees is because we want them to know the value. I firmly believe that something that's given free has no value. So we charge them 200 rupees, and the outcome of this test helps a student understand what stream he should choose at a second PUC level.
Okay.
Whether he should get into engineering, whether he should get into travel tourism, whether he should get into healthcare. That is something that is very interesting. So if students are interested, if you guys are interested, you could take that up. That's just going to cost you, I think, about 200 rupees, and it's a test. It's an online test. Just log on to careercompass.co.in and make your payment, and your test will start. And at the end of the test, you will know that priority 1 could be this that you could look at. Priority 2 could be this, and if you're confused on what you must choose after your +2, this can be really helpful. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. A very good thought there. And before I let you go, Kunal, if at all you had it in your hands to change something about the educational system, what are the 2 things you would want to change?
The main thing that I would like to change, I'm not saying this because, we run a program like this, yeah. The very fact we started a program like this is because we believe in this thought. We feel that education must be more experiential. Okay, now I'll talk about management education because I feel I have some reasonable authority to talk about that because we've been running a business school for over 10 years and we work with so many companies, we understand what they want and things like that. Especially management education, if I could change, right, I would make all the programs in the country like the program that we run, Management must be learnt practically and theoretically. It's not a skill that can be learnt in a classroom alone. And this is tried and tested, and we've seen students perform extremely well. It has really helped them. It drives better understanding. So that's something that I would really like to change.
And anything else?
Well,
you're happy with the whole system?
One step at a time, if I can.
Wonderful. So on that note, I'm going to wrap up today's episode of Dean Talk with Mr. Kunal Nehruji. I'll see you next time with another brand new episode with another known institutional head. You take care. Until then, this is Arfa Siddiqui signing off. You take care. Bye-bye.